y'all? It's your host Rick with Westside Level. Today we're going to do some advanced leveling on our mix, and we'll start off with something like this. And after our leveling, we'll go to something like this. So the first thing I want you to notice when we're doing leveling and we're getting to an advanced stage of leveling is that you'll notice that all of these faders right here, these silver knobs right here, they're all at the same level. That's because once we want to start getting to an advanced level of leveling and balancing our mix, we get to a stage where we use plugins to level our mix. And why do we do that? Because let's say we want to control the level of the whole mix. We could do so by highlighting everything, and we'll retain the same balance, but we'll be able to turn the level of the mix up and down simply by highlighting all of our master faders. And we could turn it up to, if you look in the upper left corner, it shows a percentage. We could do it at 70, 50, wherever we need to really like have control and have real control over our level. So that's the number one step. We're using plugins at this point of our stage of leveling to get our first balance in. So let's listen to our mix without any of our plugins on, and let's start completely from scratch. What I like to do is pick the most important instrument, find a place for it in the mix. So I'm gonna go ahead and target this blue instrument, which is gonna be our kick drum, get it right here, and we're going to level it out. Alright, so I got my kick drum peaking at about a little bit over the 9 mark. The reason I have it right there is because I want to leave some headroom, because I know I want to give most of my headroom to my black instrument, which is going to be my 808. And if you're wondering what I mean by headroom, is just the level in that this meter is showing. So right now, for example, this kick drum is taking about 9 dB of headroom in the mix. So that's what I mean when I say headroom. I'm going to give you can see that the kick drum is taking about 9 dB of headroom in the mix. So yeah, we're going to give our 808 the most headroom. And that's, if you can come in the mix already knowing how you want your instruments set and what levels they're set at, your job will be so much more fun, and you'll be able to be a lot more efficient with your leveling. But let's go ahead and move to our next instrument. I'm going to target this red one, and we're going to start leveling our clap drum. Alright, so I chose to give the clap about a little bit over 12 dB of headroom, and when I say dB, I'm referring to decimals. That's what this meter is recording. So when it says 12, it's referring to 12 decimals, 15 decimals, or dB. So yeah, I gave it about 12 dB of headroom just so it could be slightly under our kick drum, but still enough to smack you in the face and kind of give you that groove of boom and clap. So let's go ahead and move to our percussive instruments, which are going to be these yellows. Let's start with this one. We got a hi-hat. All right, and I set the hi-hat around 15. And you'll start to notice a trend that I'm creating right now. You'll notice with my instruments, my kick started off high, then my clap got lower, and then my hi-hat got lower. What I'm doing here is I'm creating dynamics, giving everything its own place and level in the mix. So let's move on to our next percussive instrument. Did the hi-hat, now I'm getting into the shaker. And as you can see, it kind of took me a minute to decide, but yeah, I want the shaker just slightly a little bit more headroom than the hi-hat. That way it just pokes out more, gives a little bit more of a punch. All right, let's move on to our next percussive instrument. Look like we got some bongos. Yeah, I'm gonna give the bongos the most headroom out of all the percussive instruments just because I like the groove that it's giving the drums. But so far we got our drums leveled out. Let's hear how that sounds. Not bad, not bad. Now usually what I do at this point is I set the 808 just to hear how it's going to sound. So I'm going for this black track right here, this black channel or track on the mixer, and let's start leveling it out. And you see the 808, I want for this style of beat, I want the track to be really 808 heavy, really loud, smack you in the face. So you'll notice that I'm leveling the 808 all the way till it's clipping. I'm not clipping the 808. It's still peaking at a level that's not clipping, meaning going over zero. Still not going over zero, but it's as loud as I could possibly push it. So I'm pushing it to the limit, combined with the drums that we just mixed. And you can see how everything is getting built together now. Let's move on to these instruments. Alright, so remember, if we remember at the beginning of our mix, we set our kick drum at 9. So I'm pushing the chords, which is the meat of the instrumentals, I'm pushing those to 12 because I want to get them as loud as they could possibly get, but still tucked in under the kick drum. So we're hitting that 12 mark with the chords. And as far as this sounds like a xylophone instrument, I might tuck it down a little bit, but there's sometimes where it's sitting right and I don't level it at all. I just let it sit because it's sitting like right under the chords. But let's go ahead and listen to it. Okay, so let's get our looks like we did a ARP with the same piano sound, so let's hear how that sounds. Perfect. So I like it where it's sitting. It's hitting right under that 15 mark. And if you remember, we set our chords at 12, so we got it right under 15. Sitting nice with that other xylophone effect. So this is the whole mix brought together with every instrument thought about and leveled out. Let's hear how it sounds. Let's get a quick before and after what our level has done to the mix. So this is before any of our leveling. After leveling. That I want to kind of review and bring things back, like how I said before, you can, with the level like this, now you have control of where you can control the volume of your balance. And this works nicely for when you start assigning and routing things to the mixer. You don't want these tracks right here peaking either. But that's the tutorial. Go ahead, give me a like, subscribe, share, and comment if you want any techniques talked about, any new techniques talked about, or if you have any comments on this technique. All right.